What is the real world, this AI shenanigans? Anyway, we won't go into that because it is hour. So let's have a little talk about some music stuff. There are 3 games we play in Music is Easy, which is my flow state music learning method, which means that you can learn music without having to think about too many things. Ideally, we want to be thinking about and practicing one thing at a time. And the absolute best way that we do it is by seeing it and playing it and hearing it. Basically, the more senses you can use to embed a piece of information, the more strongly it will stay. So, the games of Music is Easy basically create a way for you to understand and practice all elements that constitute Western music. Because we as gamers know that depth is not about lots of complicated systems. Depth is about systems that can be mastered and iterated on, that can be expanded, that you can spend, hours testing out ideas and seeing how they work and seeing what happens if you make them bigger and if you make them smaller. And this is the basic idea of music. And the problem with music theory, in the way that most people see it, is that it has all the information right at the same time. And this is unnecessary. So we are going to be going through enough for people to be able to use the white keys on their instruments. This is the first step, and this is the first game of Music is Easy. It's called C is to the left, and it's just about understanding the pattern of the piano and then being able to apply it to all different instruments. So please feel free to stop me at any time if you have any questions. But basically, we're going to go through some stuff. If you have a piano with you, amazing. If you have another instrument other than a piano with you, please let me know, and I will do you custom diagrams for your instrument, because I don't play double reeds, but apart from that, we're basically groovy. Now, a piano has a repeating pattern made in the keys. If you know what a piano looks like, let's see if we can get a straight line. Come on, straight line. Ooh, that's all right. That's all right. The first thing to remember about a piano is that it has 7 different white keys in the pattern, and all the white keys are the same size. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 and 7. We have 7 unique white keys. The pattern made by the black keys is a group of 2 next to each other. And then a gap. Do I use my fill icon? I'll just scribble it. Just scribble it. 2 black keys, then a gap, then 3 black keys, right? And each of these black keys are separated by a white key, but not every set of white keys is separated by a black key, because there are 2 white keys together at the middle of the pattern. Boop, these are 2 white keys together. There are also another set of 2 white keys that are together, but I'm not going to tell you which they are, so we'll see. That's one of my punchlines. Once we know this pattern, if you look at a pattern, you see a piano here, it's got this pattern, 2, 3. Any piano you see, if it doesn't have that pattern, it is not a piano. Now, many instruments will have that pattern and not also be pianos. They might be piano-shaped instruments, like a glockenspiel, or a melodica, or a keytar. Where's my little keytar? I've got a little piano-shaped instrument right here. Yeah, keytar. Hey, isn't it wonderful? So now we have a piano-shaped instrument, and as you can see from the pattern, hopefully, if the camera is focusing properly on my face, which is a bit we were looking at the pattern of a piano. The pattern of a piano is the basic pattern in Western music. It exists on all instruments, whether or not you realize it. But on some, it is hidden. On the guitar, it is hidden. On the violin, it is hidden. On saxophones and flutes, it's kind of hidden. On trumpets and trombones and brass, it's totally just hidden. But it's still there. And the key we need to understand is that there is a repeating pattern of 2 and 3 black keys, and C is to the left of the 2 black keys. Now, in my book, this is delivered as a rap. You play a little game, you do a rap, it's called a call and response. I say a thing, you say it back. Here we go. C is to the left, 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 of the two black keys. One more time. C is to the left. C is to the left. C is to the left of the two black keys in a robot voice. C is to the left. C is to the left. C is to the left of the two black keys. You could try doing this. It's a great way to do it with young people. It's great fun to learn it whatever age you are. But once you know that C is to the left of the two black keys, you know that C is not there, nor is C there. C isn't even there because those are not to the left of the two black keys. So a very quick indication of whether someone struggles with left and right. C is to the left of the two black keys. And after C, it's the alphabet. Now I hesitate to ask questions of you in chat because it represents a difficulty and obligation. I feel quite silly when people don't answer. So at some point, we'll see if you would like to shout out what you think the letter after C in the alphabet is. You can, but, you know. It's D. And after D, we have E. After E, we got F. After F, we got G. And after G, we go back to the beginning because there is no H in music unless you are German or Polish in the 17th century, which we are neither of any of those three. Is there a thing for neither for three? We are none of those things. We are neither German nor Polish nor in the 17th century. So that is the notes we use in Western music. It appears in all instruments. Yes, some musical traditions refer to B flat as H because at a certain point there was a system developed in Germany in the mid-17th century which had a mathematic assignation of letters, and they just needed an eighth letter. So it wasn't enough to have the 7 that we use, A through G. They just needed an eighth, and for some reason they called B flat H. It goes deeper than that. There are reasons why. Some of them make sense, I guess, maybe. And maybe we'll do a deep dive at some point. But for some people, I say it only goes to G. They say, no, there is H. I say, but okay, but you are Polish, and it's not helpful, and it doesn't help with anything. Or you're a 17th century German mathematician, and it's still not useful. No, there's no H. No H's. I don't know. Just because it kind of had to start somewhere. That's one of the few things in music that's just because we could have started it with A there and had everything else exactly the same, and it would make absolutely no difference. It just starts at C. If I'm wrong, put it in the comments. Put it in chat. I would love to be challenged on this. If anyone does know a reason why we have C as the tonic, because the note C and the frequency it represents, at least in our entire system of codification, is like the starting place. You could kind of call it the middle, but it doesn't really balance around the middle. It's part of a cycle, but it's a place we start. Interesting, I think that's basically the only downside to do re mi. That in the time spent learning solfege, which that is, you could be learning about the letters. There is a thing called movable do, whereby you don't necessarily say as do is the letter C. In some traditions, do is C, and re is D, and like ru is D flat or something. But there is a thing called movable do, where you just treat do as the first note of a major scale. And in my method, I kind of use a movable C. Instead of singing do, re, mi, we sing C, D, E, and I'm suggesting that this is the note C. I don't know that if it is the note C, but if I sing it like this, it's a major scale. So whether that's C, let's see. Bum, bum. It was flipping C. It was C. I did just pitch accurately a C. Yeah! Always nice when that happens. So, what we can take away from this picture, you don't need to remember the whole pattern to remember the whole pattern. You can remember just one thing. So, if you are a guitarist, you need this pattern in your head. If you want to engage with any kind of music, like jazz, any music that uses notes, jazz, classical, gypsy jazz, reggae, like any music that you need to be able to have, say someone be like, oh, we're playing in this key, come and jam. Like, you need to know what that means. You need to know what notes you have available, and your ears will tell you. But if it's the first time you've played with those people, you don't want your ears telling you what key you're in while you're performing, right? Because you just want to like know it. Like, oh, this, I'm here. So this is the basic idea of why keys matter. Because in the real world, playing with people, you will find people who don't know what you know, as in don't necessarily know the songs you know, but they also don't know how much you understand of what you're playing. And they might say things like, oh, yo, we're jamming in D Dorian. And, you know, if you don't know what that is, like, you're going to be a bit confused. And you'd be like, oh, what's D Dorian? And you'd be like, oh, I don't know that. As opposed to, oh, yeah, cool. And it really is as simple as that. It's a language, and you will get used to it. You get used to it by using it. So the crucial thing you need to remember is which white keys do not have a key in between them. And when you can see the picture of the piano, that's a fairly easy thing to do. We can say, E and F do not have a black key in between them. Now this means that on our guitar, the E string is the note E. Fret 1 is the note F. Fret 2, F sharp. Fret 3, G. So by knowing this pattern, you are able to then find these notes on the guitar, and you will be able to play in whatever keys you want. On the piano, it's kind of there for you. You can kind of just play the white keys. And being able to play and identify the white keys is one of the long-term goals we want to have on all instruments, not just in our brains, but intuitively. We want it to be as easy to play the white keys on our instrument as it is on the piano. Anyone on the piano can come along and just play white keys, right? But playing on other instruments is a lot harder. Good question. So sharp and flat are a direction of movement, not a note themselves. Sharp means up one key, the very next key, whether it is a white key to a white key, a white key to a black key, or a black key to a white key. So E sharp does exist. It is F. We just call it F. There are some situations where we might call F and E sharp, only when that is the easier alternative. What does that mean? Well, particularly if we are playing in the key of F sharp major, the 7th note of the scale is going to be the note F, but that would mean we have two Fs. We have an F natural and an F sharp. And every time we go between them, we have to say, the F natural, the F sharp. However, if we call this instead E sharp, because our D sharp is there, right? In the key of F sharp major, we want to just have the note E. Now, it could be an E sharp, E flat, whatever. We want it to be the note E so that it follows the pattern. And in that situation, we would call F E sharp. Or we would call the key G flat major, G flat, A flat, B flat, and we would have to call B C flat. That would be the alternative for that. So when we know that E and F are next to each other, this will help us on all kinds of instruments. We know that on the violin, I have my E string, and if I want F, I have to get the first note after it. As opposed to on my A string, where the next note would be B, and I have to move to the B plate, 2 semitones up, right? A sharp, B, but E, F, G, A, G, F, E. And on these instruments, you just have to know where the different notes are. On the violin, you have to do a lot of practice intonation, get your fingers in the right place. On the piano is just a piece of piss, really. You just find the notes. Bink, easy. But, you have 10 fingers and they can all do different things. So, E and F are 2 of the white keys with no black key in between them. There is one other set. Can you figure out what it is? Ding, 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 dong, ding, 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 dong, ding, 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 ding. If you said B and C, you would be right, because as a repeating pattern, the pattern keeps going both directions. No, you're right, but B and C are also next to each other. And this is very useful. For example, let's do a couple of demonstrations on different instruments. We are looking for the notes E and F and B and C. Because we can remember, all we have to remember is that all the other notes have a black key in between them. Hey, here we go. We got the guitar. So what this means on the guitar is that if we are trying to play our white keys, we gotta know which white keys are next to each other, i.e. 1 half step or semitone apart, and which white keys are not next to each other, i.e. have a black key in between them, are 2 semitones or half steps apart. And this pattern exists on all instruments that play in the Western 12-tone equal temperament convention. There are 12 keys, 7 white, 5 black. That's why we call it 12-tone equal temperament. So we know that on our high E string, fret 1 is F because E and F are next to each other. Just like E and F, B and C are next to each other too. B, C, but C and D have a note in between them. That note is called either C sharp or D flat. So that means if we are playing C on our first fret, on our B string on the guitar, and we want the note D, we're going to have to move not 1, but 2 semitones up. And then we get C and D. D and E, well, E is an open string. We know that F is there. But F and G are also 2 half steps or 2 semitones to make a tone or a whole step apart, right? I wonder, shall I take I can take the preamp off my voice. I don't know, it makes my voice sound kind of low. Maybe I listen how it sounds back on the VOD. So we have E and F, but G. Open string B, fret 1 C, fret 3 D, open string E, fret 1 F, fret 3 G. And that gives us almost all of our white keys. Right? We have... And you see, on the piano, you can just play the white keys. On a guitar, you have to know how to find them. And that's the only way you'll be able to understand why they are called F and F sharp and A flat and all this other stuff. Otherwise, it's like, well, why? Why is that pattern here? Why do I have the dots on my guitar? Are those not the pattern? No, those are just useful dots on the guitar. They're just useful things to have. So we want to be able to play all the white keys on our piano. And if you are playing a guitar, it doesn't look like this. So I guess I'll do it for guitar, because guitar is the most common kind of next one. And perhaps there are some shy guitarists in chat who are interested, but haven't yet said hi. To all the lurkers, thank you so much. If there is anything I can do to help you on your instruments, please let me know. Otherwise, please enjoy your lurk. I'm very, very grateful. It's good to be back, I have to say, guys. It's been so funny hearing people talk to chat, like and say in real world chat at the end of sentences. Because I have a chat. You're my chat. Hup. Here we have a guitar. The strings of a guitar. Elephants and dolphins get broken easily. And that means if we want the white keys on the guitar, on all of our strings, from low E to high E, we gotta remember this stuff. And this is the stuff that becomes automatic through use. We want on our E string, we want F and G. Well, F is fret 1. F and G have an O in between them, so G is fret 3. On our A string, we want A. We want B and C. Well, A is an open string, so A is there. A and B have a note in between them, so B is on fret 2. But B and C do not have a note in between them, so C is fret 3. On our E string, we need the notes E and F. Well, E and F don't have a note in between them, but D and E do, so we get D, E, F. On our G string, we got G. We need A. G and A have a note in between them, so G is open, A is fret 2. And we just did the top ones. We get B, C, D, E, F, G. Now this is obviously only the notes up until the 3rd fret, which is kind of where
most of the stuff we learn in terms of open position chord shapes and stuff like that works really nicely. It keeps going up and down, and then you get to specific chords. I want to play this chord because I like the sound of this chord, like a major 7 or a major 7 second inversion, or like a dominant 9 or just a normal dominant 7. Or because you want to go from different inversions of a chord. All kinds of things you can do. And if you know what notes you're playing, like that is a lot. So here we come to the end of our first section. The game C is to the left. C is to the left of the 2 black keys. Why do we care? Because it's the pattern of a piano, and that pattern exists on all instruments. As you can see, finding where C is on the piano, a lot easier than finding where C is on the guitar. At the very least, the guitar requires 2 hands. One hand got to fret the note. The other hand got to play the string on a piano. You just need 1 finger and you can play C. So once we have our C major scale, i.e. all the notes from C to C, we don't want to have to think about it. So how do we practice? Because performing music isn't about thinking lots. Be like, oh, I bet that's really hard. No. We practice to the point that it's as easy as touching your nose. Touch your nose right now. Easy. Close your eyes. Touch your nose. Again. Not so easy with a mic in my face. But you get the idea. That's how easy we want it to be. How do we get there? By practicing it. But by practicing one thing at a time. And I'll tell you what is not one thing at a time. And this is why so many people think that music is hard and difficult, because this stuff is not one thing at a time. This is like 8 different things all at the same time. What does it mean? Why? What are the little squiggles? Okay, well, what are they? How long do they last? What line are they on? What does it mean? At the same time as then, how do I play it on my instrument? And oh God, everyone's watching me. And that, for many people, is the experience of music. Deciphering puzzles, endlessly deciphering puzzles while under pressure and having a bad time. And if you're pizza when you're supposed to French fry, you're gonna have a bad time, right? So this is for most people what music is, right? To the point where a lot of people that I encounter, I'll say, hey, do you want to play some music? And they'll like, well, not so much that I encounter, but I used to encounter outside of my line of work. They will just pull out written music. They'll be like, oh, I don't have the music on me. Because for them, music is all about reading. And music is about a lot of things. And reading is a really, really good way of playing stuff you don't know already. But it's many things all at the same time. You have to, first of all, figure out, this is G, that's A, that's B, C, A, that's E. And they go quick. It goes bum, bum, ba-da-da-ba, rest, rest. Bum, bum, ba-da-da-ba, rest, rest. What notes are they? Okay, G, A, B, C, A. So the whole point of the word game is we take steps out. The first thing we want to do is be able to find our white keys. It's very simple. We make words. Ashkino's Vortex. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. This is a play-along interactive music lesson. And I'm going to try and take this thingy off my... I feel that's a bit better. It was quite chunky there, hey. I wonder how my muff sounds on the guitar. Ashkino's Vortex. How are you, dude? Are you still streaming? I have not been around for a long time. But we are doing interactive music education, and we have just finished the first part. We have just finished the game. C is to the left, which means that we can play the word game. To play the word game, you need to be able to find the white keys on your instrument. It's as simple as that. The word game is a very, very silly and very simple game. Instead of assigning our notes sounds, we just use them like English, like languages, and we make words out of them. So, for example, we could do the word egg, E-G-G, and it would sound like, or, and you notice,
I didn't have to think about where those notes were. I just know them. But you might find that you have to think about, okay, E, there's an F, so if F's there, so E and F are next to each other, but F, then F sharp, then G, so E, G, G. And you got it! And if you want to get it without having to think, do it 5 times in a row. E, G, G. But you're thinking, okay, I'm playing E and G. E, G, G, 3. E, G, G, 4. E, G, G, 5. Oh, it's quite a nice ring on this guy. My little guy here. Wonder if we can get a little bit chunkier. What other words can we do? We have all the letters from A to G. This is the word game, guys. We have the letters. And I really like when people get creative and give me a word I haven't thought of before. It's a bit like Scrabble. This is one of the points of the method, that when we can build in other fun engagement into music, like Scrabble, or what is it? Letter, where you have to make words out of them. We got face, eyes as dawn. We got face, a lovely word. Face, very nice. I will respond with defaced, like a statue of a questionable person. A statue that got defaced. We have face and defaced. We got any more? We got any more words? Any more words? How about we got more word? We got gaffed and we got badge. Playing music is the feeling. Absolutely. We got gaffed. G-A-F-F-E-D. We got gaffed. We are playing the word game, Brendan. For anyone who is new joining us, we are playing the core game. This is no less important than the rhythm game and the meow coaster. Badge and caged. Yo, amazing. We got face, debed, defaced, gaffed, bad, and caged. Amazing. Amazing. And we can now use this, guys, as a number of different things. First of all, there may be some killer lines hidden in there, especially because we can make them go up or down if we want. We could play face up for an F major 7 chord. But we could also invert that shit and we could go F. I'm going to make myself look foolish. We could do la 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 la. La, 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 da. And just from one word, we got bare good stuff. And I'm going to put the preamps on. Yeah, so the guitar sounds nice. Let's, Where's my pick? But, we got face. Let's play a different place. Yeah. If we are playing it just in open position guitar, however, how could we play it? Well, we could play F, A, C, E. We could play it up like a diagonal, like that way. We could play it. But we could also go, and that was the other version I did. We could go F here, then A there, then C there, then E. Right? We could go. And it gives us a very different sound. So being able to play around with the options is one of the cool things about the word game. It doesn't tell you whether to go up or down at this point. We will. Word game level 2, spoilers. We will, but for now, we can interpret things. So let's have a little crack at some of our words. Am I going to play them on guitar? I want to play violin. We got face. Or? And what if it was on a cello? We could even do... We could even turn our word into a bass line.
Let's see if we can find a word that will go well with our first face. Let's go defaced. Badge. To bed. Gaffed. Oh, I like that one. I did 3 Fs though, just 2 Fs. La 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 la. Forgot my B's were natural. Bit of wild cello. Badge again. Caged. Yeah. So some crazy violin sounds we got. And those are just over one bass line. We just played some words over the word face. And each time, you see, this is the point of learning through games. A, they're fun. Games and music just make music. Music is just good. You don't have to work really hard. Music is just good. If you've got good acoustics and you've got an instrument, it's in tune, you just play stuff and it sounds nice, really.
So point 1, endless melodies we could find out. There's a whole page of shit. We put 0 effort into that, right? We didn't think, oh, I'm going to make some music that sounds like this. We just said, oh, what happens if we play these letters, right? And this is the sneaky bit, guys. This is the sneaky bit. That every time I've played any of those words, what is the process I've gone through? Have I thought, okay, what does that symbol mean? What does that symbol mean? How do I put them together? Where do I play them? What's it? No, I've just thought, okay, I need the note F. Where is F? Here. Ah. I need A. Where is A? Oh, it's here. Ah. So you play the word face one time. You practice playing F, you practice playing A, you practice playing C, you practice playing E. And in a 10-minute session of the word game, you just play a couple of words, and you play some more words, and you play some more words, and they play a word, and you play a word. And then all of a sudden you've got hundreds and hundreds of repetitions of just thinking a note and playing the note. And as Bruce Lee said, I do not fear the man who's practiced 10,000 different kicks. I fear the man or woman, or neither, or both, or, yeah, that's all. I fear the person of any gender or identity who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. And not 10,000, right? But we can have a nice jam. We can play face. We play a different way. No, I messed up. I did fakaf. I don't like that open E. It's equal tempered. all of these different words we can play in all different ways, and with all of them we are learning how to find the notes on our instrument so it becomes as easy as the nose on our face. So this is the word game, my friends, and this is what I spend the most time doing in my lessons, because it's just loads of fun, and you can just do it for ages. And especially autistic kids will find a word and just play it again and again and again and again. I mean, autistic adults too. ADHD, less likely to jam repeatedly on the same word, more likely to have fun finding out the different words, and more frustrated when they make a mistake. So how neurodiversity fits into this is a very, very, very broad topic that I am delighted to speak about at length whenever possible. Take out the drums, so we just have our first off face bass line. If anyone has any questions or anything I can help with, or they're trying to find this on any different instruments, please let it be known. Well, I do a bit of a reverb delay jam. We're in the key of C major because it's all white keys. I'm going to do a bit of. Should I do a bit of thirds? We'll do some thirds.
Sixths, rather. Thank you for your bandwidth. This is what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to mess around with 2 sets of thirds on the violin. See if I can get some nice. Two sets of triads and all 4 notes be in tune on the violin is quite a long task, and we are getting there slowly. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it, but we must trust that we are. Must trust in the process. Face could have also been out of tune, so I'm not going to work too much about this. Nice. That'll do. So,
we started with the word game, and to remind anyone who might have joined us, this is an interactive play-along music education show. So I hope you are finding this valuable. If you are, please let me know. I teach this quite a lot in throughout my week. That is, this is my job. I do it. I've done it in lots of different places, and I'm really, really glad to help anyone. I know that people don't really come on Twitch to learn music so much, but I'm hoping we're going to make it a thing. So if you are playing along and having value as a lurker, please let me know, because it will make me feel less silly. And I don't really feel silly because I'm enjoying it, and this is what I like to do. And we're going to keep doing it. That is the word game. The word game, there's lots of different ways. This is the word game level 1. We can play it on all of our keys, because for all the keys, they're going to have a different organization of sharps and flats. And the word game can be expanded to sharps and flats. It's very flexible. It's very flexible. Just double checking that I haven't left my other mic on. No. Good. So we did the word game. We started with C is to the left. We did some word game. Now we are going to do some rhythm game, because Music is Easy is about learning through games. The word game helps us learn where the notes are, helps us try out different ideas. And as we progress further, we'll use it in more different ways. We can use it, for example, to help us read music. If there's a piece of music we want to play that is written and we're struggling with reading the dots, we can pull the dots off the page, turn them into words, and try them without any of that pressure related to reading music. So the word game is a very, very valuable tool. It works really, 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 really well. Especially works well in groups. You can have a great 45-minute time where you've got a bunch of people and you all have a piano. You're just playing words back and forth at each other. And you do speed words where you have two people try and play the word fastest. You do round the world words where people have to challenge each other. We turned it into a game show once in our lessons. It was very fun. Game number 3. See this to the left, not really a game, more a puzzle. Word game, kind of game 1. Game number 2 is called the rhythm game, and where the word game dealt with notes that we turn into words, the rhythm game deals with rhythms. And the rhythm game is also very, very simple. First, we're going to count numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we are going to count vertical lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we are going to count horizontal lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you've done that count 4 times, it means you have already practiced the rhythm game 4 times. Because the next thing we're going to do is we're going to choose 2 numbers per line. I'm going to choose the first line, and I'm going to choose the numbers 1 and 2. Anybody in chat got any numbers? I'm going to be asking you for them. The rhythm game is very simple. You count the numbers, you clap the crosses. Let's go. This one's easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that again, shall we? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was a little bit fast. Let's try to do it a bit slower. Here we go. We're a 1, 2, 3, 4. That was a hair slower. Let's do it much faster. Here we go with a 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do it 4 times in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I might do that with my clapping hands. I might do it with violin chops. I'm going to go chop, chop, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do it with a C minor chord. We go 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The great cheese master. Hello, sir. I'm very well, thank you. We are, as you can see, just about an hour and a bit into an interactive play-along music lesson. We started by looking at the pattern made by the piano and how you find those notes on the guitar. We then played some of the word game with these words, and we made a groove that sounds like this. And this is Face, played as a bass line on the violin. And then we got to our rhythm game. So yes, I've been going very well, and this is kind of what we're going to be doing now. So if you have an instrument with you and you want to do some stuff, or if you just want to clap along, grab it, plug it in, do the stuff. And especially if there's something I can help you on any of your instruments, also please let me know. This is much more fun if I get to interact with people, and I am very happy. We did our first rhythm where we are doing 1 and 2. I'll tell you what, Cheese Master, you want to give me 2 numbers for our next line of rhythm. Azaz, you there? You got some numbers for us? We did 1 and 2 on our first line. You got numbers for the next one? Yeah, same here. You've been streaming yourself lately. Keyboard and guitar, getting into more synthesizers here. Oh, very nice, very nice, very nice. Maybe I can help you with some stuff then. If there's anything I can help you that you're trying to accomplish on these guys, please let me know. 3 and 4, excellent, excellent. We have our second line of rhythm. 1 and 3 from Isis Dawn for our third line of rhythm. And now we're starting to cook with fire. Excellent, very nice, guys. And I will finish it off. Let us finish it off with a 2 and a 3. We didn't get a 2 and a 3. So we have now 4 lines of rhythm. We have our first line of rhythm. We have our second line of rhythm. We have our third line of rhythm. And we have our fourth line of rhythm. And we are using 4/4 time, meaning there are 4 counts in a bar. We count to 4. And we are only having crosses that count for a whole number. So that's not something to worry about. But if you do have that background and understanding, that's kind of how this fits in. So let's play our second line of rhythm by itself. Just 3 and 4. Here we go. Clap or play as you go. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy. Let's do it 4 times. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Still easy. Same rhythm 4 times in a row. Now it gets a little bit harder. We're now going to do our first line of rhythm and then our second line of rhythm, and repeat them. This means that we're going to be going from a 4 to an immediate 1, right? Because we go back to the beginning. So rather than let people make that mistake, very common. If someone makes a mistake in this, it's always going from the 4 to the 1, because to our eyes, they look far apart. And your brain's like, oh, I'm done. But no, you're not, because 4, 1. And that's how we practice it. Because looking at the 4, looking at the 1 at the 4 at the end, 1 at the beginning, 4, 1. Now, sometimes people just go 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1. And that's fine, but that's practicing just going 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1. That's not practicing going from the 4 at the end of our second line, 4 to the 1 at the beginning of our first line. 1, 4, 1. Because our rhythm is going to go. Here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very nice. Let's add some chords. I'm going to put my nice, tasty preamp on. And we're going to do some chords. We're going to play the chords. Let's try my C major. Let's see if my C major is in tune. C major and F major. So we get a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Now I add an extra cheeky G chord. 2, 4, 1, 2. I'm playing the chord C, F, C, G. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. And all of a sudden, we've got a chord pattern. This is cool. You're actually classically trained since you were 8 years. Big up. Big up. So my method, as I may have said to you before, is all about breaking down the processes of music into things that you can practice one at a time. So you're not trying to do all the things at the once, meaning identify the note, see the time signature, see the key signature, do the rhythms, and learn it all at the same time. Instead, we learn them one at a time. We find our notes using the word game, and then we practice rhythms using the rhythm game. This will also seem very intuitive to you American folks, I'm sure. In the UK, this shit is revolutionary. Getting people to count while clapping, revolutionary. And I say that with a healthy amount of tongue-in-cheekness, because it's obviously just really obvious. But the UK can be very backwards in many ways. So we now have our first 2 lines of rhythm, and I pumped up the difficulty by adding some chords. Let's go for all 4 lines of rhythm, one after the other, beginning to end. Clapping hands ready. We got 1 and 2, then 3 and 4, then 1 and 3, then 2 and 3. Yeah, man, a lot is going on, breaking everything down, especially syncopation is a big thing. Us piano players use a grand stuff. Oh, yeah, for sure. And having to not only decipher one system, but two different, seemingly arbitrary systems at the same time is why almost all adults in this country just remember their piano lessons when they were young as just horrible and lame, and they hate it. For people who have a really nice piano or really good, encouraging environments, or also are autistic and just love complicated puzzles, yeah, it's fine. For most people, and especially for people who have ADHD flavor, cognitive patterns, the stave just totally inaccessible. It's too much. It starts moving. There are too many different systems. You're autistic. Hey, hello, neurospicy friend. Yeah, so this is my observations these days. I'm erring on the side that like 3/4 of classical musicians are autistic and 3/4 of contemporary musicians are ADHD. And I'd happily go into that at great length. It's through these kind of processes, seeing this process done with hundreds, probably not thousands, probably at least 1,000 people. I'd say I've done this with over 1,000 people, including group stuff. Getting to see how people think, how they process and retain information, and what's difficult. So, for example, a person who has strong ADHD flavor thinkings will absolutely hate having to identify where they went wrong, just pointing at it. So, for example, I had a student today. The young man has ADHD flavors. We were playing he was reading Crazy Frog. I gave him vertical words for Crazy Frog. And just having to identify where he made the mistake and point at it where it was written. He couldn't do it. The head went down. No. Slowly. I had his mum as well, and we were slowly coaxing him. He's like, no, I know it hurts. Just point at the mistake. And just having it like, it was there. And then immediately he got it. So to give you an idea, one more quick one, how the word game, how I develop it. Because initially, we play the word game. But then I gave them, what's that song? And this is my favorite iteration of the word game. I think it's probably valuable to pause for a second. So rather than give them written music, I give them floating words. And you will notice that you don't have to translate to the letters. You have to find the letters on your instrument, and this added one more element. I've not given myself enough room. Hold on. I want to make it proper. The whole point of vertical words is that you can just try and play the notes. Instead of having to translate them first from a set of symbols. And just that additional step of translation is like ADHD can't handle that. It's too much. Cognitive thoughts connected to each other ADHD doesn't like that. Autism doesn't mind it. Us autists, and I don't like using strong categories. I believe in categories when they're useful and when they lend us the ability to give support. I don't like categories when they prevent support. So I don't actually believe in hard demarcations of autism versus ADHD in terms of people, but certain types of cognitive process, absolutely, super clear. You'd be like, oh, they think like that, it's the opposite. And one of them is in terms of layering patterns. Us autists, and I call myself an autist because I have very, very few ADHD flavors. I'm like 95% autistic, I'd say, versus ADHD to autism proportion. Probably like 50% neurotypical, maybe. It goes up to A. I messed it up already. I'm thinking about too many things. I'm trying to talk while I'm doing it. A, G, G, E, G, B, A. And another thing to point about the word game is that when you get to this point where you have entire songs done as a word game, Axel F. Yes, indeed. And this is the game called What's That Song, where I write the notes up on it and people have to try and figure out what the song is, but I told you it was the Crazy Frog to give you a thingy. Because the point is that as long as you're having to think about how to play the notes, you won't be able to hear the song. This is Crazy Frog. Axel F. Who's Axel F? Did I do what is that who Crazy Frog is by? Is there something on my screen that says Axel F? Is something you're laughing about? Am I being? Or is that the Crazy Frog person? Oh, that was rubbish. That was rubbish. Well, I was getting spun out by how grainy my violin was sounding. Axel Frog. It is. Okay, yes. Yes, it is indeed Crazy Frog. Let's see if I can make it a bit nicer. On the violin, it's kind of, yeah. I can't go to the high one. And so, for example, if someone who displays heavy ADHD flavors might start learning it and then try and play it by ear and make mistakes. And that's fine, but they will keep trying to play it by ear. And just pointing to the note that they got wrong is painful. And it's as simple as that. Like, that's what makes sense. Getting them to do it is like asking someone to put their hand in prickles. Now, you can do it. You can do it. And if you don't want to have a really bad time in maths class all the time, you got to be able to get through it. And this is the thing, that the satisfaction of getting through it can be reverse laid into it. So that sensation of, it hurts becomes like a good pain. It's like, I've found something. It's like you're trying to do a diagnostic of yourself. You know there's something wrong somewhere, but then you find it. You're like, that's where the fucker is. Grasping the mistake by its horns. You must grab the bull by its horns, and we have a big party. So, yes, there we go. That's called What's That Song? It's development of the word game. For anyone who may have joined us and is watching, you can see my whiteboards, obviously. You do not have to worry about taking notes because, firstly, you can screen grab from the VOD if you want. But also, for your convenience, I will be uploading all of the whiteboards to the Discord at the end of the stream. And it is going to be for the subscribers Discord. So, if you want to support the channel and help me out and get a bunch of nifty, swinky whiteboards with all this stuff that you can use and help learn music, you can. You don't have to. And I'm not in a position where I desperately need you to, which is good, because streaming when you desperately need money sucks, guys. It sucks. I can't explain how much it sucks. And I much prefer now just doing it because I want to, which is fun. So here we have What's That Song? Let us return then to the rhythm game. The rhythm game, where we count the numbers and clap the crosses, and it goes like this. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah! One more time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Gonna try and beatbox while doing the rhythm. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you very much. I'll take a whoosh. A whoosh. If you got that right, here is a whoosh for you. A whoosh. Should I tell them about Hadoukens? Nah, we'll save it for when Hadoukens happen, naturally. Someone will earn a Hadouken at some point, and you will get Hadoukened. Let's make it harder. Let's add this rhythm with some chords. I'm going to keep it to... Let's do a 1 and a 4 in the key of E flat major. So I'm going to play an E flat 7, then an A flat 7.
myself out with some of them thingies. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Let's loop something. So we're starting with just some violin chords. A 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get a Let's put a bass line down. Let's do some violin picking. Let's take the second and third line of rhythms. We're in the key of E flat major, so what am I going to do? I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2. Doing some little chord sounds. So made some decisions with regards to the notes that would fit with the chords, but these are all your rhythms. We made this tune with the chat. In fact, you wrote it for me now. Just a bit of a 1/4 dominant chords in the key of E flat major. Let's play some wild cello. See how it sounds, see how it sounds. Not too bad, not too bad. I just can't get enough of that cello voice, man. Without it, the muff just seems a bit harsh. It is jazz, I'd say it's a bit of a blues, of a funky thing. We didn't get to the meow coaster, but regardless of what we did or didn't do, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to call it there, my friends. Just tomorrow morning. Oh, that's not. I wanted the bass line. Not tomorrow morning, but tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. I have a meeting with a dude.
I have a meeting with a dude who is the director of education at the music college that I studied at, London Centre of Contemporary Music, and we are having a meeting. I know it's already tomorrow morning, but not for a while. It's not in the point of the morning that I need it to be. But we are going to be talking about things like flow state, finding your authentic voice, my book, and I'm going to see if I can get into a uni to be doing stuff like the kind of stuff what we did here today. What did we look at today? We looked at the pattern of the piano. C is to the left of the two black keys. E and F and B and C are next to each other. We looked at how to find those notes on the guitar. If you can find those notes on the guitar, then you can play the word game with us. These are some of the words we played. Face was a lovely bass line. Excuse me. We then talked a little bit about how the system of written music is very complicated and has lots of different factors, and how we like to break things down to learn them one at a time. We then did some of the rhythm game, where we looked at this rhythm, which goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And if you notice the chords of the violin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that violin part. Yeah. Why does it matter? Well, because if we were writing this with written music, it would look like this. There'd be an eighth note, a quarter note, then another quarter note, then a half note rest, then a half note rest, followed by 2 quarter notes, and we count them like the same way that we did. Then we have maybe a quarter note and then a rest, or it could be a half note and no rest. Let's make that one a half note, so we don't have to worry about that. Then we have a 1 beat rest and a 1 beat note. We're nearly to the end. We have either a 1 beat note and a 1 beat rest, or we could just do a 2 beat note, and that's how you read rhythms. I said that's how you read rhythms. It's nothing to be scared of. Remember, guys, music is either impossible or easy. And these whiteboards will be available to you to screen grab if you should choose to do so. But they will also be available on the Discord. The Discord, where you can find all the kind of things that we will be doing. So let us find someone to raid, shall we?